What's up, everybody? This is Domingo here on Network, and today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Video I'm going to be doing my top 10 overrated Yu-Gi-Oh! Hand traps. So we're going to get this started, and we're going to talk about the top 10 overrated hand traps in Yu-Gi-Oh! And I just want to say, I came up with this idea because a few days ago, I was on YouTube, checking out other YouTubers' channel, and I was trying to see if I could find some videos about, if anybody ever done like videos about like overrated hand traps in the Yu-Gi-Oh format. And unfortunately I couldn't find none of them, and that's when I came up with this idea. Like, you know what? Let me do a video doing overrated hand traps in the Yu-Gi-Oh. So that's what I'm gonna do. Top 10 overrated Yu-Gi-Oh hand traps. So I'm gonna talk about these hand traps that I've seen people play more often. Some people play most of these hand traps, and then other people play all the hand traps. It all depends. Whether it is in Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments like in the TCG or the OCG, or Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, or Yu-Gi-Oh! Dueling Nexus, or any other Yu-Gi-Oh! Video games as well, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Their Pros, or any other Yu-Gi-Oh! Related games. We're going to talk about these hand traps, and why, in my opinion, these are overrated, because these are the hand traps that a lot of people play. These are the hand traps that, a lot of people talked about, especially in formats and stuff like that, whether it's on real life tournaments or a video game like Master Duel, for example. But we're gonna get this started now. In this list, I'm going to be focusing on hand trap that are monster effects, right? So that's what we're going to focus on. And also, before we do the top 10, I want to get this honorable mention out the way real quick before we do the list, because there are actually two trap cards that are hand traps, and I think you all know what I'm talking about, and we're going to get that honorable mention right now. So the honorable mentions of these two trap cards that are hand traps, not monster effect, but just trap cards, but they are hand traps. And the two cards I'm talking about is, I have this on my phone, the list, Ematch and Infinite Impermanence. So let's start off with Ematch. So Ematch, very good trap card, very good hand trap. I actually like this card too. We all know what it does, at the end of the battle phase. If your opponent controls more cards than you do, you can make your opponent banish cards from their field or face down, so they control the same number of cards that you do. If you control no cards, you can activate this card for your hand. So it's a very good hand trap, because it's a very good side. It's a side deck card that a lot of people play, because this is a card that, you messed up your opponent's strategy, and you're forcing your opponent to banish their cards on the field face down, so that way you mess up your strategy and stuff, and they have to control the same until they control the same cards as you do. And the good thing about it is, if you control the cards, you can activate this card in your hand, which is actually pretty good, because that happened more often. That happens many times, to the point that you're forcing your opponent to banish all their cards after they've done their strategy and stuff. Of course, you have to sacrifice your battle phase in order to use this card, but Evenly Match is a very good hand trap card, just to ruin your opponent's strategy in place and forcing them to banish their cards. Now we got Infinite Impermanence. Now Infinite Impermanence, it negates a face-up monster on the field to the end phase of the turn. Not only that, but also, if this card was set before activation on the field resolution, for the rest of this turn, all other spells and traps effect in this column are negated. And if you control no cards, you can activate this card in your hand. So another very good hand trap that I like. So yeah, now even though Evenly Matched and Infinite Impermanence are not on this list, I feel like these are the two hand trap cards that need to be mentioned. So Infinite Impermanence, negating a monster effect face up is pretty good. Not to mention, you can negate your opponent's other spells and trap cards effect that activate in that same column. So that's actually really, really good. It happens many times, especially if you activate your opponent on your hand. You can not only negate an opponent's monster, but also at the same time you can negate the other spell trap in that column. Because if your opponent activates a spell and trap in that column, that is going to negate the effect. So Infinite Impermanence is a very, very good hand trap, because these two cards, Evenly Matched, Infinite, very strong hand traps as well. They're really, really good. Infinite Impermanence, like negating a monster and then negate a calling, it happens many times. And Infinite Impermanence is not only good for like a side deck, but you can even main deck this card too, because it's also a good main deck card as well. Alright, so those are the two hand traps that are in the honorable mention. Now we're going to move on to the top 10 overrated Yu-Gi-Oh! Hand traps. So let's get this started. Number 10 is Effect Veiler. So Effect Veiler is one of these hand traps that I actually like. I actually like Effect Veiler. It's a very good hand trap. We all know what she does. Of course, during your opponent's main phase, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard to target one effect monster your opponent control, negate the effect of that face-up monster opponent control until the end phase of the turn. So negating opponent's monster effect is really good. Like if you want to stop your opponent from activating effect for like their combos and their strategy stuff, Effect Veiler is like, nope, you're gonna you're gonna negate it though. So Effect Veiler is really good. You know, you play this card many times in other different decks you want. It's pretty cool, and the good thing about it, Effect Veiler is not a once per turn event. So if you have like 2 or 3 of them in your hand, you can activate them, and you know, negate. So it's pretty good. You know, Effect Veiler is really good to get rid of, to stop your opponent from doing strategies with one card. Because that happens, because there's like so many decks that you can do combo stuff with just using one card, and once you have Effect Veiler, it's like, nope, you ain't gonna do that. Effect negate. So it's really good. And the good thing about Effect Veiler, there's one deck that I love that actually searched this card, Effect Veiler, and that card I'm talking about is Sage of Eyes of Blue from Blue Eyes, right? Because Effect Veiler is a level 1 light attribute to the monster, and you can search this card using the effect of Sage of Eyes of Blue and Blue Eyes. So hey, you know, that's pretty cool. Alright, number 9, Diddy Crow. So Diddy Crow is another hand trick card that I actually like. So Diddy Crow has a quick effect where discard this card to the graveyard to target one card your opponent's graveyard and banish it. So that's pretty good. So just like Effect Veiler, Diddy Crow's effect is not a once per turn, which means if you have like 2 or 3 of them, he could just banish, you know, like 2 cards or 3 cards your opponent's graveyard and banish them. So it's pretty good. Oh, I'm gonna activate Scrap Chimera's effect to bring back a scrap to the monster graveyard. Nope, Diddy Crow. I'm going to activate Monster Bro. I'm gonna bring back my monster. Nope, Diddy Crow. Oh, Scrap Dragon's effect. I can just when it's destroyed, I can special summon a non-scrap on the ground. Nope, Diddy Crow. So, oh, Scrap Golem's effect. Oh, I can special summon the effect. Nope, Diddy Crow. So Diddy Crow is very good. Like, it stop, you know, banishing one card your opponent's graveyard is amazing. It's good. Like if your opponent activates cards like a monster born or something like that. Nope, Diddy Crow. So it's pretty good. Like Diddy Crow's like, nope, you ain't gonna get that card back. It's banished. So it's really good. Like it's amazing. Like Diddy Crow is a pretty good card to stop your opponent from trying to bring back a card grade. So, but Diddy Crow says 1 card, so that means it can banish like a monster or spell or trap. Oh, we can recycle this card to the deck. Nope, Diddy Crow. Oh, we're gonna go Pot of Avarice. Oh, bring back those 5 monsters. Nope, Diddy Crow. So Diddy Crow is actually a really good card. You know, I see this in real life format, even in Master Duel. Same thing with Effect Veiler, but Diddy Crow like is pretty good. You know. I like that. I'm try. All right, number 8, Ghost Belle and Haunted Mansion. So Ghost Belle, it's a very unique hand trick. She's one of these hand tricks that I actually like too. I see people play this card a little bit more often now, especially like in the Master Duel or even in tournaments in real life and stuff, TCG and even OCG for that matter too. So we know what this card does. You know, she has like one of these 3 effects you can activate, and it's also once per turn. And the first effect is add a card from the graveyard to the hand, deck, and / or extra deck. Second effect says special summon a monster card from the graveyard, and the third effect says banish a card from your hand to the graveyard. So so if your opponent activates a card effect to activate one of those 3 effects, Ghost Belle, Haunted Mansion. Oh, I'm gonna search for a monster added to the extra deck. Nope, Ghost Belle. I'll special summon a monster from my graveyard using Monster Ball. Nope, Ghost Belle. I'm gonna banish a card from the graveyard. Nope, Ghost Belle. So there's like so many decks that has those type of effects, and Ghost Belle's like, nope, you ain't gonna use it. And of course, Ghost Belle is a once per turn effect because if you have like 2 of them, you only have to activate 1 per turn. So that's the thing. But despite that, Ghost Belle is a very good hand trap because like it stops the searching, it stops the special monster in the graveyard, it stops a card that activates effect when you banish a card from the graveyard. Like it's really good, and she's actually pretty cool too. You know, I actually like Ghost Belle. All right, number 7, Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. So Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit is another hand trick that I also like as well. I think she's pretty cool. What this card does, when a monster on the field activates effect, or when a spell trap that is already face up on the field activates effect, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, destroy that card in the field. And of course, you can only activate Snow Rabbit once per turn. So it's pretty good. The only thing people need to keep in mind is that once Ghost Ogre negates a monster or a spell tracker that's already faced on the field, it does not really negate the effect. You still get the effect. It just says when you activate the effect, that card gets destroyed. So even though if it gets destroyed, you still get the effect. You know, I can still I still get my opponent monster effect, but guess what? Even if you get the effect, it's still destroyed by Ghost Ogre. So yeah, and it's really good because Ghost Ogre does come up at times, especially like there's so many decks that actually play like field spells or continuous spells and traps and stuff like that, and if they activate ghost spell, well, you still get the effect, but guess what, it's going to be destroyed. Yeah, so it destroys the card when they activate effect. It doesn't really negate it because they still get the effect. So but other, and of course it's once per turn effect for Ghost Ogre, but despite Ghost Ogre is still a pretty good hand trap because I see more people play that more often, even a Master Duel and even in the current format. Alright, number 6, Cypher Gear Gamma. So Gamma is a very unique hand trap. What Gamma does, cannot be normal summon a slime, must be special summon by a card effect. When your opponent activate a monster effect while you control no monsters, quick effect, you can special summon this card, and you can also special summon one side frame driver from your hand, deck, or graveyard. And if you do, negate the back and destroy that monster. And of course, during the end phase, banish all the face on monsters that was special summon by this effect. So it's pretty good. It's a very unique hand trap because Gamma does come up at times, like if your opponent activates a monster effect, especially if they go first, unless you have Gamma in your hand. If your opponent activates a monster, you can negate with Gamma, then you special summon Gamma for your hand, then you can special summon the one Cypher driver, that normal monster for Cyphering, whether it's in your hand, deck, or graveyard, and special summon it. Hell, sometimes if you ever go second during your turn, and let's say your opponent activates a monster effect during your turn, you can go Gamma as well, and then you can even go single summon, maybe we could single summon for Omega, Cyphering Omega, for example. Since Gamma's a level 2 tuner, and I think that, and the normal monster Cyphering driver, I think that's level 6, I believe. But yeah, so Gamma's pretty good. It's a very unique hand trap. I know in the TCG currently, Gamma is at 1 right now, because way before it was 1, people used to play like 3 of those cards, because we all know how pretty good Gamma really is. You play like 3 of them at the time, and you only need to play 1 Cypher driver. Even though the Gamma's still at 1 right now currently in the TCG, it's still pretty good. Because like it just mess up your opponent's strategy, especially when they have to be monster effects. Alright, so now we're halfway through this list. So number 5, Maxi. So Maxi is number 5. Maxi is one of these hand traps that I actually like because we know what Maxi does during either player's turn. You can send this card from the graveyard. This turn, each time your opponent special summon a monster, you immediately draw 1 card. Of course, you're going to only activate Maxi per turn. Now, Maxi is currently banned in the TCG in the format. I think it's legal in the OCG if I'm not mistaken. And also, you can actually play Maxi and Yugioh Master Duel because that card's at 3. So yeah, but when I used to play Master Duel all the time, everybody's playing Maxi. And the reason why this card is number 5 and not like higher up on this list is because Maxi is currently banned in the TCG, so that's why. So even though it's not like in the top 3, it should be in the top 5 though. But Maxi, nonetheless, it's a very good draw power card, hand trap card, because it helps you, not only you get more draws for each time your opponent special summon the monsters, but also your opponent, sometimes you can mess up your opponent's deck strategy as well. And hell, some of these guys still keep special summon monsters because they still want to go for the combos plays. And you still keep to draw cards each time since you have to Maxi, And then there are some decks where well, damn, I'm gonna have to special like 1 or 2 monsters, then just end your face right there because you don't want your opponent to draw any more cards since they already activate Maxi on the field, Like it's really crazy, But Maxi, like, it's a really good hand trap card that you let you draw multiple cards each time your opponent special summon a monster, messing up their plays, messing up some strategy, and not to mention, since you draw more cards, you can find the cards and resources that you're looking for. So Maxi is fantastic. I kind of miss Maxi in the TCG, but I do understand why some people do not like this card, because we all know how really good and strong this card is, especially with the draw power and stuff like that. Alright, number 4, Niro the Primal Being. Niro is a very unique hand trap as well in this one. Why this card is overrated. So this card is at number 4. We all know what it does. During the main phase, if your opponent normal special summon the monsters, 5 or more monsters, this turn, quick effect, you can tribute as many face-up monsters your opponent as possible, and if you do special summon this card for your hand, and then special summon 1 Primal Being token, rock type, light attribute, level 11, attack and defense points is question mark, to your opponent's field. This token's attack and defense becomes combined of the original attack and defense of the tribute monsters, and of course you're going to only activate Primal Being once per turn. So Niro is, yeah, I know some people think, when this card first came out, at first it was like, okay, why would you, it's good that you can get rid of your opponent's monsters, but it's just that you're going to special summon a token, but it gains more attack for each of those tribute monsters combined, But despite that, Nibiru is still a good card because there's like so many strategies you can do. It's a very good card that you can just main deck or even side deck too, for that matter. But I see people main deck this card probably the most though, just because like Nibiru is very strong hand trap, and a lot of people like to play Nibiru, you know. And the thing about this too is that this deck, there's one deck that's actually good with Nibiru, and that's Kaiju's. And we all know what Kaiju's does, you know, like you contribute a monster your opponent controls stuff. So like say, like if your opponent goes first, right? Especially summoning out 5 or more monsters, and then you activate Nibiru, you give them the token stuff, right? And then during your turn, you have a Kaiju monster in your hand, you contribute that token, and then special summon the Kaiju monster. So there's like so many good strategies in place that you could do, and this card is very good with Kaiju's. It's also good with other decks too, but you know, it depends about what deck it is, and you know, the strategies and stuff. But Nibiru is a very good hand. A lot of people play more often now these days, yeah. Alright, so we're in the top 3 right now. Number 3 is Dimension Shifter. Yes, Dimension Shifter is number 3 on this list because this card, oh man, I see people play this card more often with one deck, which we'll get to. But Dimension Shifter has an effect where if you have no cards in your hand, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard until the end phase of the next turn. Any card sent from the graveyard is banished instead. So it's like a Macrocosmos, you know, and a dimensional feature, you know, like, you know, any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. Now, Dimension Sleeper is one of these entries that honestly I hate this card so much because I faced this before. I remember going to a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament one time, and I saw somebody play this card in this deck that I hate, and the deck I'm talking about that actually play this card is Cassius. Oh Lord, that deck Cassius is annoying, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like they play Cassius, even in Master Duel people play Cassius, and they actually play freaking Dimension Shifter. Like it was too much. Like it was so too much that it just messed up my strategy, and I lost to that deck. I'm like, even in real life, I only faced that deck once, Cassius. But I really hope that I don't face that deck again the next time I go to the tournament. Because I hate that deck so much. And in this one of these hand traps that I hate, Dimension Shifter, like it's too much. And I remember playing Master Duel. Everybody's playing Cassius. Cassius. Dimension Shifter. I'm like, oh my god, can we face too much? Oh my god, it was too much. Whew. Like I'd rather play Dimension Shifter than this card. But honestly, but seriously though, but yeah, it is a very strong card. But at the same time, I hate that card because it's the whole banishing, like, it's so annoying. All right, number 2 is Drone Lockbird. Yes, so Drone Lockbird is number 2. Now we all know what this card does. If a card adds from the main deck to your opponent's hands, except during the draw phase, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard for the rest of this turn. Cards cannot be added from neither player's main deck to the hand. So yeah, I remember when this card first came out, years ago, that was around that time there was no hand trap format until like years later. At the time, nobody never played it. But that was until around, I think a few years later when the hand traps first came to the format, I see people play more of this card, Drone Lockbird. And they're still playing more to this day because Drone Lockbird, it's a card that says, nope, you ain't going to surge, you're not going to add any cards to your hand. I remember there was one deck that I hated, that plays Drone Lockbird, and I'm talking about Trick Stars. Remember Trick Stars? Oh, I hate that deck. But anyway, Trick Stars though, they have this trap card called Trickstar Reincarnation. If you have that and Drone Lockbird, you activate the Reincarnation first, and then after that just activate Drone Lockbird. Yeah, you can banish your opponent's hands and stuff, but guess what? They're not gonna add any cards or search card for the hands. So Drone Lockbird is like, nope. It's good for like messing up your opponent's strategy, so that way then they get no cards added to their hands. Drone Lockbird is affected both players because both players can enter, right? But if you play this with Trick Stars though, oh yeah, that's a different story because you know you don't have to worry about your opponent getting cards, and they don't get their cards researched, they don't get their strategies, they don't get the combos they're trying to look for, and all that stuff as well. So there you go. Yeah, but Drone Lockbird, see a lot of people play this more, even in Master Duel. I know in real life in the TCG I see people play this card more. I know in Master Duel they play a little bit, but I do see people more in real life play this card a little bit more often now, especially if you like whether it's a main deck card or well, it's mostly like a side deck card, you know. But Drone Lockbird is a card that's kind of neutral to me, honestly, like a love and hate card. So yeah. All right, and last but not certainly least, number 1, the number 1 overrated Yu-Gi-Oh hand trap, and you guys know what it is, and that is Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. Yup, Ash Blossom and Joy Spring is number 1 because this is a card that everybody plays. I play Ash Blossom. You play Ash Blossom. People in the tournament play Ash Blossom. People in Master Duel, people play Ash Blossom. Ash, 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 Ash. We all know what Ash Blossom does. Of course, it negates the effect of either adding a card from the deck to the hand, special summon a monster from the deck, or send a card from your deck to the graveyard. And of course, Ash Blossom effect is once per turn though. So yeah, but Ash Blossom though, it's very, very good. It's a very strong hand trap. We all know what it does. We all know what it do. Everybody plays it, you know. Oh, I'm gonna add a card in my hand. Nope, Ash Blossom. Oh, I'm gonna special summon a monster from the deck. Nope, Ash Blossom. Oh, I'm gonna send a card for the deck. Nope, Ash Blossom. Ash, 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 Ash. Everybody's playing Ash Blossom. Like it's crazy. But Ash Blossom, just like Draw Lumber, it's a neutral to me. Like it's like a love and hate relationship with this card. I like it, but at the same time I hated it. The reason why I like Ash Blossom is because its effect is very strong and powerful. But the only reason why I hate it is because people use that card against me. Everybody plays the Ash Blossom, you know. Everybody plays it. Even when I went to the Yugioh tournament, people were saying the same thing. Everybody plays Ash Blossom. And yeah, everybody plays this card. We all know how good Ash Blossom is. We all know how strong this card is. And everybody plays it because it's a very good hand trap. And that is why Ash Blossom and Joy Spring is the #1 most overrated Yu-Gi-Oh hand trap. Everybody plays and everybody talks about it. Alright everybody, hope you guys enjoyed that top 10 was overrated Yu-Gi-Oh hand trap. That's got to be it for this video, guys and girls. And don't forget to like this video, share, subscribe, and post your comments in the comment section below. And tell me what you think about my top 10 overrated Yu-Gi-Oh hand traps. Is there any other hand traps that are overrated in your opinion and that I did not put on this list? Let me know in the comments. And that's going to be it for this video. So this is Domingo Hero Network. All I can say is take care. Have a good day. Goodbye, one. Domingo Hero Network is signing out. Peace.